All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the Room Upstairs podcast. We're doing a quick review on Andor Season 2.
Oh.
You want to start again?
I was like, what was this?
Should we start that one again?
No, that was on purpose.
Okay.
Leave it.
All right. Yeah, we're going to do a quick review on Andor Season 2. The three of us have watched. Mephisto has not, so we
kicked him out.
We
He
kicked
just
him out.
left.
And yeah, he just walked out, basically. He was
Poor
like,
him.
yeah, I ain't part I ain't a part of this.
No.
He does not have friends everywhere.
But follow us on our socials, the Room Upstairs podcast, whatever social you're on. Type us in, find us. If you find us, then we're on there. If you're watching us on YouTube, like and subscribe. And on any of the socials, make sure and comment whatever it is that you want to comment on, whatever we're talking about or anything you want to talk about. Just feel free.
Disagree with us? Agree with us?
Bring up your own points.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, let us know. We want to talk about it.
Because we have friends everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it as many times.
All right. Well, let's get to it then. Andor.
I'm getting the shirt that has the
All right. Andor Season 2 is what we're going to get into. And we are going to have some spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, don't watch this yet. But if you don't care about spoilers or you've already seen it, get ready. We're gonna
Get ready.
You guys want to start over there?
Start over here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start then.
Did you want to go last?
No, I mean, it don't matter. I guess I can go first.
I'll go. I don't care.
No, you go first then.
All right. I'll go first. I don't have much to say other than just how much I love this. I mean, I can't praise it enough. I know we talked a little bit about it on last month's episode, but now it's finished, right? It's just so good. I feel like I keep saying how it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan again. But there was a lot of people that were wanting to give up with this world just because of bad stuff, which kind of breaks my heart because I'm a big believer in if you don't like something, just ignore it. Don't just do away with what you do love just to forsake, the bad stuff. But Andor it's great. I mean, it's one of my favorite Star Wars stories now. I mean, it's kind of sad that I say may because I'm always hopeful. It's sad that this may be the last time we see Cassian. But man, it was a fun ride. If you have finished it, I recommend watching Rogue One again with that lens of Cassian's story. As soon as I finished Season 2, threw on Rogue One. It's so like Rogue One's even better now.
Yeah.
Like, and I already love that movie, but it's like watching it all together. I mean, this is fantastic. And it encapsulates like just how the Force works in a world that doesn't have to be about Jedi, but the Force is still there.
Mm.
Like Cassian's, and it doesn't just like it doesn't come out and say it like we're idiots and it had to tell us, but especially in Season 2, it sets up that the Force is going to use Cassian.
Yeah.
Because that's how the Force works. It's all about balance. So if dark overtakes, then a light has to overtake. And so because of all that the Empire has done, now Cassian gets to, with the help of Jyn and all of them, it's really cool. It's a really cool story. And yeah, I mean, I'm sad that I may not see any more of them. But who knows? We might get cameos in something or whatever because they love going back and forth, right? Man, I can't praise this show enough. I've at least gotten 2 people to start watching Season 1 just because of how great Season 2 was.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty proud of that because I'm like, man, I will share this with as many people as I can. So
this was non-Andor truthers? Like they hadn't watched anything at all,
well,
and so they started watching it?
These are the people that have given up on Star Wars because of the weaker projects, which I get that. I understand y'all's plight and your arguments, but man, there's some good stuff out there in this world that is being built by different people. And I know that with different people, you're not going to like everything, but it's a world of different people, so you're going to have different perspectives and stories and characters. And man, Cassian's just one of my favorites now. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna keep saying I love it, I love it, I love it. But it's like that. I really love it. I'll probably rewatch both seasons at some point next year.
Yeah.
Just because, why not, right?
That's all the Andor we got now.
Yeah, I'm like every year I'm just gonna do my yearly Cassian watch, but yeah, that's just where I'm at.
Okay. You want to go next?
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Okay.
So I've gone on record before stating that Andor, at least season 1 when it was the only thing out, was my favorite season of television just ever.
Whoa, yeah.
And I can now confidently say the entire thing is my favorite show of all time. It is fantastic. It feels in a lot of ways like it was written directly for me. Which, like, I understand. There are definitely shows that are probably better than this. There are definitely shows that are more appealing to a lot of people than this. But this is one of those things where it's like, this is for me. Like, this just hit me in the perfect way. Everything about it just tickles my brain in exactly the right way that I want from a story. So it's like, yeah, I love it so much. Just echoing everything you said. I think this is a show for people that have seen Star Wars. This is a show for people that have never seen a Star Wars thing before. I think it's for everyone. Like, if you can enjoy a character-driven story, you're going to enjoy this. I think it's really timely, and the more I've heard, because I've listened to a lot of Tony Gilroy interviews now, way too many. Where I've heard the same stories like 3 times sometimes. It's like, okay, that's fun. But like, he's talked about, he didn't write it to be timely, but you can place this show in any period of human history, and it makes sense for someone that is living right now.
Sure.
And he didn't draw on just, say, World War II as inspiration. He drew from history across all of human history and was like, I'm going to incorporate all of these things into the show because I want to create something timeless. And I think that's really reflected in the entire thing. Yeah.
I mean, the best Star Wars stuff is that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy that, I mean, you have a 2-season series that beats out some of the movies.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Yeah.
I think this is timeless in a very similar way that the original trilogy is. Yeah. Because it's a story about light and dark. And in the second and third movie, it gets into, like, it's not as black and white as you think it is. There's a lot more nuance to that conflict, and I appreciate that. And this feels like the natural building of that theme. It takes all of those original trilogy themes of family and hope and oppression and expands it in a way that 3 movies just wouldn't have been able to do, to tell the soap opera story that he wanted to tell. It's telling a full 2 seasons worth of television, and I think that's what makes it feel like Star Wars in a way that almost nothing else has.
I just love hearing you talk about it.
I'm very passionate about this.
It's just, there's always some piece of Star Wars that gets somebody to join the rebellion in a way, and like I can tell that this is yours. Like, I'll fight now.
Yeah.
Like, and that's cool to me because, like, and we talked about it on the last episode. Like, I started with the OG, you know, and so like, I mean, right out of the gate, like, kind of like Cassian, like, I've been in this rebellion forever.
Yeah.
But it's like you hearing how much you care about it now. I'm like,
this.
Man, I'm like, all right, bird.
So what I'll add to it, so I love the show also, season 1 and season 2. Great show. So more praise coming from me. I don't think I have anything negative. But my thing, like why I like this show so much was the complexity of it.
Yeah.
Because throughout season 2, I was like, who am I rooting for?
Yeah.
Like, am I rooting for the good guys? Because they're acting kind of bad. Or am I rooting for the bad guys? Because they're kind of being good. Yeah. Like Dedra and Cyril, they're not good, but like,
you understand them the entire way.
Yeah. Like, you guys are just bad.
They were good characters.
You're doing bad stuff. Like, I get it.
And this
but then you've got Luthen, who's like the good guy, but he's like sacrificing people, doesn't care about them.
He is cursed to use the tools of his enemy to accomplish his good. Like, I love that monologue.
But that stuff is what makes it so good, is that like you're watching it like, why is he doing, like, I don't get it. You're supposed to be a good guy. And then he comes out with a soliloquy that, like, perfectly explains his thinking, and then you go like,
everything.
okay,
Yeah, what if I sacrifice?
yeah, everything. Like everyone hates me because I'm doing these things, but I'm doing these things for the good of everybody, which
Revolution
also
is not for the sane. You know, it's
and so then that also plays into the idea of we're watching the ultimate good versus the ultimate bad, right? It's the good versus evil, and so we have the characters like Krennic and Didra and Cyril, who are the bad guys, all working on the bad side team, but they're also working individually as their own, like for their own selfish ambitions.
They have motivations
that
are beyond
and then
just
you have
for the empire.
And then you have the good guys who are working individually but as a team for one main purpose. So like you have the good versus evil, but you're seeing it in like this really complex human type of way, and it's just so good.
I think it's amazing. Like so how I was kind of getting at, like, it's timely. That there is a all right, how am I gonna phrase this? Okay, so we're talking about like the good and evil, and it's extremely nuanced in how it tackles those things. I think everyone on the rebellion side, it does an incredible job with them, like showing how they're sacrificing not just their lives but like their goodness to be able to accomplish this ultimate task. And I think you see that on the opposite end of specifically with Dedra. I love the conclusion to her story of just ending up in jail. So I saw theories of like she's gonna end up on the Death Star, and I was like, I like that. I would have been down for that. If she had just died,
blown up,
just fitting end for the character. But I think this is the most fitting end because it is telling the story of the system that all of these people are fighting so hard to keep in place, and it's the thing that the manifesto is talking about. Like, it's not natural to have this much order. They have to fight to keep it in place. And they don't just have to fight; they have to sacrifice the people that built their foundation. And it works that way for the rebellion too. To fight for freedom, you also have to get rid of the players who are fighting for it. And it's just a really interesting like mirroring between these two themes. Like, it's showing they're the same on both sides. All of them are humans. It's just different.
That's why the Jedi fell. Because they had too much power. It's that balance. Like, the Force doesn't care about who's good or who's bad. It's not, well, we're going to help Luke because we don't want to help Vader. It cares about balance. So you saw the Jedi at the height of their power. They were no longer peacekeepers. They were the system now. So then Palpatine implemented himself into that flawed system and then took it over. You know? And so people forget about that when they want to argue about why certain Star Wars movies are bad or good. Like, if it has bad writing, it's bad. But if you're saying, well, this doesn't make sense for what, like, I don't know, like, I've seen a lot of people's arguments where they don't understand how the Force works in this world. Because it's not even just the lightsaber stuff. Like, the Force stuff was implemented on this show clearly. Like, you see that.
You're the messenger.
Like, and I liked how they did that. They didn't just, like, well, we're going to ignore the Force for that. Like, no, because it's all around us, like it says. And so it's really cool that you get to see that. Like, because they are fighting really hard for this system. And I think she gets her just desserts. I mean, she has to live with all of the choices she made. And, you know, maybe some of those choices weren't the wrong choices. But this is now the outcome of, like, overstepping your bounds, forsaking stuff that you could have had. You know, just doing a good job versus wanting to have accolades. Like, you know, it's like flying too close to the sun kind of thing. And you get to see that a little bit with Luthen too. But you also get to see, like, the relationship he had with Clea, which, I mean, dude, coolest character
MVP
of season 2. Yeah, I have so many Clea edits on my TikTok that I just send them to my wife because, like, we're huge.
Look how
fans.
cool she is.
Dude, yeah, I'll show you guys
And
after the
for
podcast.
her first major role.
Yeah. So
And I did not know that with season 1.
Oh no, she was better an actress on that show. Like you would have never thought that.
And the fact that she lived, right, like put her in future stuff,
right?
Like,
so quick thing on her, or on her, yes, but like the idea of what the show did as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
When she first appeared, I thought she was just going to be a background character.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, she's cool. She's in there like listening or whatever. Like she's helping Luthen. But she was almost more in charge of stuff than Luthen was.
This is something
and then she became like such a huge player in the show. Yeah. I was like, where does she come from?
Yeah.
And she nailed it.
This is another thing Tony Gilroy talked about, and that is exactly what he played her as, is that when she appears, you think like, oh, assistant character, and that's one of the reasons he actually made her female, to play into this like stereotype. Sure. But he said she's the one that was running the operation the entire time. It was never Luthen who wanted to spearhead it.
Luthen just bankrolls it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just her. Like the spy, I forget his Lonnie.
Oh yeah, Lonnie. Yeah.
Like I thought he was just going to be in there for a little bit, but he ended up being a big part of it too.
Yeah. And that's another thing that like I was expecting going into the season to get like more characters, right? Like I knew season 2, like sequel always expands the cast some. Mm-hmm. So I was expecting like we're gonna get more characters, but instead it just takes the minor ones that we already have and grows them naturally from where they were originally.
Yeah, and
it makes going back to the first season like, oh, I get your deal now. Yeah. I know what you were around here for.
Well, like another example is was it Mousy or Mossy? He was in prison with him season 1.
Oh yeah.
The next
Melshi.
The next time you see him, she recognizes the blaster. That the last time she saw that blaster was on Cassian's planet when all hell heck broke loose. Sorry. So she's like, "Whose is this?" And when he goes, "That's mine," and now he's shaved and everything. Yeah. And then now he looks like his character on Rogue One. I was like, "That was him the whole time." Like, it's the little stuff like that that I. It's like they think we're gonna not look for that stuff when they make these projects. It's maybe we aren't gonna look for it, but the second we make that connection, it excites us so much that it's
very
like
intentional with everything.
Yes, like. It's just so cool to me,
and it proves that they were passionate about the project. That they're being so meticulous about it all. Yeah,
like the girl that played Mon Mothma, like the same girl from Rogue One, right? But it goes a step further. She was in deleted scenes for Revenge of the Sith.
It just never appeared in the final
movie. Where they had a whole Senate discussion, like off table discussion with them and
Bail Organa's there. Yeah,
and they ended up cutting that. They addressed it to her and like, we're so sorry we cut this. It just, it took away from Anakin's story. Cool. We all understand. To now reward her by bringing her back from Rogue One and then now making her a very beloved character, right?
Yeah.
And this is someone that we saw back in the 70s, but we didn't even, whatever. No one's buying the Mon Mothma action figure. Now, there's people that are like, dude, Mon Mothma? Like, they're going to get taxed. They're going to be like, I like seeing that. I like seeing the people falling in love with maybe not the poster character.
Yeah.
And this whole show was non-poster characters that now are poster characters.
Yep.
I mean,
the Thunderbolts of Star Wars.
Yes. It was so good. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to touch a little bit on the music before we close out. Okay. Just because I've also gone on record about how much I love the season 1 score. Mm-hmm. Nicholas Patel, one of my favorite composers now, partially because of that. I was very sad to see him not returning fully for this season. Right. He does some episodes in the second arc, and I immediately recognized his music because the style changes. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I know that piano.
Yeah.
But I do really love a lot of what Brandon Roberts did. Obviously, the end of episode 3 with the Mon Mothma party and her just getting drunk.
I have that song on my
Brasso.
Ready?
I feel like I had another very specific one that I wanted to point out. All of the Gorman music, great.
Gorman scene or episode as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason it is one of the highest rated episodes of television.
Yeah, it's one of the best episodes of the show.
Yeah.
It's that and No Way Out. Or One Way Out.
Yeah. Those,
guys, the show is just great.
but all of this to say, there's a scene in season 1 at the end of, I think it's the 3rd episode. Yeah, because Cassian's leaving his home planet with Luthen, and you get the the scene of him leaving the planet and like everything that's happening in the aftermath of the little bombing, and you're also getting young Cassian leaving with his mom from his original planet on Canary.
Yeah.
And so it's these two scenes like cut back and forth into the crescendo of the actual song. Like, it slowly builds. That song is called Past Present Suite.
Yes.
And you know where I'm going with this.
Oh, dude,
You know where I'm going with this. The final song in the soundtrack, I think there's actually one more. It's like the end credits after that. But final song, you're going to get the montage of all the characters at the end of final episode, Cassian walking towards the ship, all of that great stuff. And then, you know, reveal at the end of the child is called Past, Present, Future. And I just think that's a really, like, the composers understood the themes of the show and what those specific pieces of music represented.
Yeah.
And I think that's just really perfect. Like, everyone on board knew what they were doing, and it's a testament to that. Yeah. And those are two of the best songs from the school.
Yeah. So let's finish off with the final music that was played in the last episode, where it just goes through the whole Star Wars.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Movies.
Yeah, because this is something I actually just kind of learned about today, is that something I hadn't really cued into somehow, because I was really focused on like how many strings there were in the season 1 score. And I was like, that's just Bertel's thing. He really likes his strings, which he does. But there's actually a lot of electronic sounds also, and he was very intentional about that, because he's like, I want to do something that's Star Warsy, but sets it apart from everything, like the super orchestral that we've done. And this season, I noticed it started to get more orchestral, and that was also intentional, because he wanted by the end it to be almost exclusively orchestral
style.
Yeah. So that so that final bit of music in the end credits, when it goes into Rogue One music and then into A New Hope music, is the natural progression of the season slowly becoming more orchestral. Is he wanted that transition to feel good.
It was a perfect ending to the show.
Because
like a homage to the rest of the movies.
Because this is a show that uses its prequelness perfectly. Bix leaving, sad. It's heartbreaking when you know what actually happened.
There's a theory with that, though. But they, you know, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, when people are on a project that clearly are fans of the world, it shows. And a lot of people argue with that and say, like, no, it doesn't matter. Maybe someone just wants to get their style out there. Let them, whatever. You can do both. They're not mutually exclusive. You can bring your style in to fit with the story you're trying to do, and it can coexist with pre-existing content. It's not mutually exclusive. And I think Andor shuts all of that up, all the arguments, and it proves that the things that we've been complaining about, when they are bad, they can do it because he does it, you know. And I know Cassian's story is closed, but I hope they keep the people that are on this project around for other things, because you're going to want to tap into this again. It's kind of like the Russo brothers being brought back when Marvel starts tanking. Like, Star Wars has some strong people now, and we're going to remember these names. So when you start tanking, it's like, well, okay, bring the Andor people back, because you guys can't handle with what they gave you to play off of.
So my counterpoint to that is Tony Gilroy, the showrunner. He wrote a lot of this show too. Has been very vocal about he's kind of done. He doesn't want to do any more Star Wars.
You could have told me that off camera.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 10 years. He's been doing it for 10 years straight now, and he's like, I told the story I want to tell.
Yeah.
But I think
he's got a brother.
Well, true, but
well, he wrote some of the episodes, Dan.
But I think this show could end up being a testament, and I think it's gonna go either one of two ways. They're gonna learn the wrong lesson and go, oh, people really like gritty spy dramas, and then just make a billion of those with lesser writers. Or they're going to learn the right lesson and go, we need people who come to us with strong pitches. Because it was Gilroy who, he didn't pitch Andor as a show. That actually got brought to him. But he saw their original script and was like, this is not good. Let me come in and actually do something.
It's like, listen, I've been reading these books since I was like 11. Like, let me come in and actually put some Star Wars in your script.
And the thing is, he's not a Star Wars fan, and he's been very open about that.
Well, it doesn't, I mean, you couldn't tell.
But
that's the crazy thing.
He purposefully brought in people that were, and his mantra for the entire show was, I can't be cynical about Star Wars. I have to embrace that it is still part of this universe, and put something out into it that isn't already there.
I mean... You wouldn't bring an atheist to run a church service. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, there's a point where it's like, do you want to care about what you're making and want it to be good or not? And so I commend him for that.
Yeah. And so I think that is more of what we need. We need someone who has a really strong story set in the Star Wars universe and just go, okay, you do that. It doesn't have to be connected to anything. It doesn't have to be a spin-off or prequel or sequel. Just bring in creatives that maybe have not gotten the chance to work on Star Wars yet, and let it flourish as a creative space for more people than just like the Dave Filoni crew. Who I like. Don't get me wrong, but
they can't do everything.
There's more people out there too.
Just have one or two fans that you can just double check continuity errors. You know,
like
that's all I want, because like the stuff that it's the weaker stuff is the things that I'm like, all right, what does that connect to? Like, we don't know. We just wanted to get it out there, and it's like, all right, well, there won't be a second book of that, and that's fine. You know, I'm like, but hey, you did the story you had, I guess, you know. And Andor, it's in the pantheon now.
All right, so thank you guys for checking us out. If you have your own thoughts on Andor, let us know. Put it in the comments or in our socials. The Room Upstairs podcast, just look us up. Definitely let us know what you guys think of Andor and what you want to see coming up. We'll do some theories, maybe some lives,
maybe,
and we'll drop some theories on there. And that's it. See you guys next time.
That's Fandom for you.